I realized that insecure people want you to double down so they can feel better about themselves. And over here, we're not going to do that, Exoticals. Barbies. Let's get started. Hello. I want to bring up this topic because one thing I realized when I'm growing up being exotical or other exoticals is that they tend to double down to make other people feel better. And what I mean by this um, is that many insecure people, they be like, oh well, I feel happy knowing that she got cheated on by a guy and whatnot, because it don't matter if you're exotical and whatnot. Or sometimes they be like, well, I feel like, well, I'm happy that pretty girls like her suffer through this because it makes me feel validated. First of all, exoticals, we're not gonna double down, okay? Because I realize they like us to double down so they can feel like we can quote unquote relate to them. We're not gonna do that. Insecure people love doing that, and I will speak about my experience with unambiguous black unambiguous monoracial black women and men that I experienced in the black community. If you felt this way throughout other communities, please let me know. But I'm just going to speak about my experience with this one. Is that they, like, for example, they'd be like, oh well, he only choose you because you are a mix or whatnot, or you have quote unquote white phenotype and stuff, and then they expect you to say, oh no, it's not like that, this, that, and that. First of all, if you ever hear someone say any of this, just know they put either featurism, texturism, you being mixed or multiracial, well, that is mixed, anyways, on a hierarchy. We don't do hierarchy thinking over here. And if you hear them say that, walk away. Actually, don't walk, sprint. Don't turn around, because they like to, how should I say it? They feel as though that people only choose you, or quote unquote guys. No, sorry, I say quote unquote guys. I mean guys, because usually insecure usually put men on a hierarchy as well, where they be like, oh well, he only chose her because of this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, like, if you don't relate to the average unambiguous monoracially black woman, uh, what's that call it? Stereotype, or what they go through, they sometimes feel as though like you are uppity. You're not. You're exotical. That's a privilege. It's a privilege. And just because they feel insecure about no one choosing them, they haven't struggled, they upset because you're not struggling, doesn't mean you need to double down, be like, oh no, I go through things as well. No, you don't have to tell them anything. You don't owe them explanation. Okay? You don't owe them an explanation of anything. If they feel as though that you're the quote unquote chosen one, or quote unquote you don't go through things and whatnot, don't even respond. You don't have to respond. Okay? Or sometimes they be like, well, like, you don't understand. Or sometimes if they want to share that struggle with you, they oftentimes want you to, they often get upset because you don't understand. So like, that's why I made this channel right here, this community, because they be like, Coco, you don't understand about our experiences, and they're unambiguous monoracially black person. You'd be like, okay, fine. And so this is why I created this community, so we can relate when we talk about these things. For example, if you're a black passing mixed person and you're talking about your struggles of how you fetishize and whatnot because you don't look like the quote unquote black person and whatnot, or things like that, this is here where you can talk about it. Or if you're white passing mixed person and you want to talk about you, this is our space. This is our space for light skins, monoracially, people who benefit from featurism, texturism, and colorism, light skinned, mixed people. This is our channel. And honestly, we create this space so we can relate, so we won't belittle each other experiences. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, so we can understand and learn. You know what I'm saying? um they really do want you to feel bad about you having those privileges. For example, let's say you're a black passing um, multiracial mixed girl, right? But you have like a looser hair texture, and usually they be like, and you probably get comments like, "Oh, well, it's on the genetics," or "I wish I had your hair. I would this and that." And the other." Don't be like, "Oh no, no, no." They want you to feel bad. That's like low key the tactics they use, like a manipulation tactic to be like, "Well, you need to say something." You know what I'm saying? Have you ever met those people? I know I'm not lying because I experienced that and I've seen it firsthand. Or let's say like, you only get treated that way because you're light skinned, or I wish I was light skinned, or this, any other. You don't want to be like, oh no, I wish I was dark. No, don't. And by the way, don't if you don't start learning about how to not belittle your own privileges, or quote unquote act like you don't have those privileges. I'm going to talk about that in a second. You would turn to a light skin pick me, which I had put in. I already made a video about that, where basically you're like, as a light skin, we need to do this for the unambiguous monoracially black one. No, you don't. No, we don't. Okay, over here, we be like, oh yeah, I love being light skin. I love being mixed. I love having my 3C hair. I love that even though that I'm Afro-Cuban and I can speak Spanish, we accept and we love it. We're not gonna belittle ourselves. And speaking of which, what I said earlier is that they quote unquote like, oh, I like good looking people that don't know they're good looking. I'm letting you know over here right now, that's the most insecure thing. They love saying that. Okay, they don't want you to know that you have your privileges. And with that, they want you to represent them. We're not going to represent them. Okay? We're not. And we're definitely, and for sure, ain't going to be like some, oh, well, no, don't feel bad because I wish I had, darn good looking chicken wicking good. You do not want to look like them. You don't. And that doesn't make you anti-black. That doesn't make you racist if you say that. Okay, and with that being said, they also hate when you're have your fluid identity, right? So they hate when that goes along with being multicultural and being using your ambiguity, which I will make a video about, where they get upset when you use your potential for it. Like, for example, let's say you're half Arab and you're half black, and you choose to identify as yourself as Arab and whatnot. They get upset because they're like, oh well, you're anti-black. I will make a video about how you're not anti-black if you do choose one or the other, and you can choose both. Because I don't know why they think that you can't. Anyways, so they also get upset because there's like, you are willing to know more about yourself, or you willing to know more about other culture, touch grounds with it, rather than, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, a good example is I remember while growing up, um I'm not shocked because I was in that cult, but also too where I try to get in touch with learning about South Koreans, rather than knowing the stereotype of what we knew while growing up, and what we barely knew while from school one night. So I remember while growing up, the girls used to be like, "Oh, we eat Chinese food one night." They only eat like um the Asian American food, like the Chinese American food, which is not a bad thing or not. But I remember when I started getting in touch and actually started learning the language and started like learning about what they wore, and also to not only South Koreans but also Chinese as well. I remember I got so much backlash because I quote unquote want to be that race. By the way, you're not. You're not. If you choose to do that, you're not. And also too, they got upset because I was willing to put effort in to learn either more about myself or more where it can incorporate into my daily life. You know what I'm saying? So they will get upset. And I'm here to tell you, Don't belittle yourself. Don't be like, oh, well, it wasn't always like. No. You don't owe them an explanation. Who are they? Oh, nothing. Okay. Well, anyways, Exotical Barbies. I hope you have a great, fabulous, beautiful day. Stay smart, stay cool, stay Exotical Barbie. And like, comment, subscribe. Tell me, have you experienced this? Have you seen this happen? Let me know how you go, your past experience. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Anyways, bye.